my time. But I mentioned earlier that there's a lot of information now about the increase in freight traffic in Kansas, and I think that all of you should be aware of what's happening. The Kansas statewide freight study says that there's going to be very large volumes of trucks on Interstate 35, 70, 335, and 135, that US 56 through Gardner is expected to become an urban highway bottleneck, as are other junctions along I-35. That chart shows the increase expected between now and 2030 in truck traffic and rail traffic, and they say the state's central location in the country could be a strong factor in it becoming an intermodal freight hub. There's a brief mention of a need to build a road. I don't know the geography here, so I hope this even makes sense, but to connect the new BNSF intermodal and I-70 and Leavenworth, because there's going to need to be a lot of truck traffic going up that way. And just in terms of statistics, there were 12 million truck trips a year in 2006, and there are going to be about 20 million in 2030. These are roads, and you can see the darker it is, the more congested it is. You can see what it's going to look like in 2030 on the bottom. These are all Kansas figures. If you see the orange figure over on the lines on the right-hand side, going up to Kansas City on the roads, that means that there are 2,000 to 5,000 trucks a year on the highway now. You can see how it turns to dark red because there are going to be more than 5,000 on those roads in 2030. So it's not that we're coming from California and telling you, oh, it's going to get really bad here. The Kansas Department of Transportation and the planners are saying there's going to be a lot of trucks on the road. And they're going to say that this is going to accelerate the deterioration of the road and the bridges, congestion and safety issues, and community livability concerns. And I just wanted to mention that it looked to me from reading the environmental assessment that your trails that Gardner has worked hard to introduce were going to be impacted by this. And I was personally offended by looking at the beautiful agricultural land and having the environmental assessment say that this intermodal and logistics park would introduce a large and visually unified scene with industrial transportation uses in place of a number of smaller disharmonious scenes like open agricultural fields, riparian vegetation, and dispersed buildings. And that the action would result in changes to the nighttime sky, but only minor adverse effects to the visual quality of the area are anticipated, and those are quotes from the environmental assessment. Thank you.